Now, obviously, I hope, is everyone like spitting out their milk as they're watching this show here? For more, let's bring in former Trump Deputy National Security Advisor and CPAC board member KT McFarland. KT, we've known this, I think it's fair to say, Americans have known this for years. I've been saying on various programs here on Fox Business and Fox News, people have conversations about this over the table, that someone is who's not Joe Biden, someone else is running the country. What is your take on all of this reporting here?
You know, Tammy, I've been in 4 Republican administrations going back to Nixon, so I've been in and out of the Oval Office for a long time. It is impossible to hide a non-functioning president. There are a lot of people who intersect with the president every single day. I mean, the president's lawyers, the National Security Advisor, the president's daily brief, members of Congress, members of the media. The problem with it is you may have been talking about it, and a few other people have been talking about it, but the rest of them were not. They were all in on this con job of the American people. The legacy media, the bureaucracy, and the Democrats and the Biden White House, they were all in on it, and they wanted to keep it quiet. Now, why did they want to keep his infirmity quiet? Because they wanted their jobs. They knew if he had to resign or if he wasn't reelected, they'd lose their jobs. They'd probably lose it even if a Democrat won. So it was all about preserving power. They thought, we don't really need a president. You know, presidents come, presidents go. We're in charge. This nameless, faceless, unelected bureaucracy are the ones calling the shots.
Well, KT, that's clearly what they were trying to do. They weren't very good at it because, you know, just about anybody could see it who, you know, turned on the news once in a while. But you're the national security person. I mean, surely our adversaries overseas could also see through this. And I just wonder, how far back did this whole charade put us in terms of our posture and position with those around the world who mean us harm?
Well, if you look at the last 4 years of what happened in the world, all right, so Russia invades Ukraine. Iran's proxies all go to war against Israel. China's pushing everybody around, military exercises around Taiwan, and going around the world saying, look, Joe Biden is emblematic of America because, look, he can't function. He's past his prime, so is America. So every foreign leader saw this. They met with him. Remember, he was going to meetings. And even if they had not liked Joe Biden, they remember Joe Biden from 4 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. They knew he was in trouble. I think that's why they went crazy trying to exploit the United States, and they got away with it.
It explains a lot. KT, stay right there. I want to get you on this in a second. The federal government is reportedly considering a ban on a popular brand of internet routers found in millions of American homes over its links to Chinese cyber attacks.
Our own Grady Trimble has more live from the White House. Grady.
Hey, Tammy and Brian. The company we're talking about is called TP-Link. It's got headquarters in China and here in the United States in California. You might not have heard of that name before, but it's one of the most popular router brands for homes and businesses, small businesses across the country. And the Wall Street Journal also reports that the company provides routers for internet communications for the Pentagon, the Department of Defense, as well as other federal agencies. And that's why this is such a concern, and they're looking into a possible ban of these particular routers. The Journal says investigators at the Commerce, Defense, and Justice Departments are looking into the manufacturer, which was established in China, and its links to cyber attacks. The Journal reports Microsoft found a Chinese hacking group uses an extensive network of compromised TP-Link routers and has launched cyber attacks against Western targets. The company says its security practices are, quote, fully in line with industry security standards in the U.S., but it acknowledges to Fox Business that its routers, like other consumer electronics brands, have been identified as potential targets for PRC, People's Republic of China-based hackers. It also tells us we implement rigorous secure product development and testing processes and take timely and appropriate action to mitigate known vulnerabilities. The Chinese embassy says that the U.S. is bullying Chinese companies, but as you know, the incoming administration is expected to take a hard line on China, and this may be one area where they look. Guys?
Grady, thanks for that report. We appreciate it.
All right, KT, we've heard this song before. I think it's fair to say we've been worried about China and what they've been making, and chips and the computers and routers. Do you think this is, we're worried about TikTok? Seems to be a pretty significant issue.
Yeah, and it's nothing new. You know, we've known about the Chinese penetrating mostly of our communications devices and modern technologies. We've known about it for a long time. We haven't done anything about it. So when they talk about it, it's not something that they woke up today and realized, oh my gosh, the Chinese are in our routers. No, the Chinese are in everything. They're in all aspects of communication. They're in all, I mean, not only does TikTok have access to your whole address book? They know who you're talking to. They know everything about you, they know everything. And for the Chinese to say, well, don't worry about it. We've taken really good precautions. There's no issue here. That's baloney.
Yeah.
It's total baloney, because the Chinese have a law. It's called the National Security Law. And any Chinese company or individual, if asked by the Chinese Communist Party, has to turn over everything to the Chinese Communist Party.
Time to cut through some of that baloney. KT McFarland, great stuff today. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks.
All right, coming up.